Nicks the ball off Dapolonia. Now Gabby Holler, the American striker. Holler is going to shoot from distance and hooked the shot. Of course, Holler called Melbourne home during the winter when she was playing for the Boroondara Eagles and scored enough goals to get herself an A-League contract, but not able to make a homecoming of sorts successful there. Well wide of the target in the end. And now Bunge ambitiously running the ball out of defence. And then a bit of a hospital ball to Laura Pickett, the 21-year-old right back who has made a very promising start to her Ninja A-League career this season. And speaking of Melbourne connections, Naomi Chinema there winning the throw-in, of course. Melbourne born and raised, a former Melbourne City player before moving west for this campaign. Given away by Johnston to Murphy, the player that Perth will be oh so aware of after the last meeting between the sides. M. Gilnick now dancing around one opponent, can't find a way past a couple more, but has support out on the wing. And repelled away from the edge of the penalty area. Laura Pickett getting forward to support the attack. Played as a midfielder almost all through her juniors, Laura Pickett, so won't be too afraid to venture up the pitch when the opportunity presents. And this rather stop-start first 4 minutes of the game continues with more throw-ins. Cassidy trying to clear the ball to safety. And even though there's a little bit of backspin, it does tail out. If you don't know who Chids is, of course, it's Alex Chidiac. Chidiac's had a fascinating career with many different stops. Started in her hometown Adelaide with 9 games, 10 for Melbourne City, back to Adelaide for another 19, another 10 at Melbourne City, and now today is game number 52 for Victory. So the club she's certainly learned to call home. A number of stints overseas as well. Here's Lowe, pushing the ball out to Gilnick on the right. Numbers in the middle for Victory. Gilnick cuts it back. Rachel Lowe scuffs the shot. Flannery with a chance. To the top of the area again and missed by Dapolonia. And the ball is cleared away. Victory probing. Perth able to get the ball to safety. Alex Chidiac hoping to be a prominent part of linking together the Victory midfield and attack. Of course, there are so many more members of the 100-game club in the Ninja A-League now. The league going from 12 games to a record high 23-game season over the last 5 campaigns. Here's Chinema clearing from the last line of defence. Perth's turn to look a little bit shaky playing out from the back. Win in a duel with Bunge. And here's Pickett. Laura Pickett driving the cross. It's wiped out Cassidy, who bore the brunt of the ball, and the referee, due to a blow to the head, is going to whistle play dead here. Georgia Cassidy initially was trying to keep her feet, but you just saw her tumbling off balance. It was a firmly struck cross and appears to have hit Cassidy in the side of the head, maybe the face. So the trainer's out. I wonder if they will have to administer a concussion test or if she'll be able to immediately pass whatever protocols are offered in the opening exchanges here. And, well, as Georgia Cassidy takes a seat, this is not a great sign for Stephen Peters, because even though she is only young at 19 years of age, she's already one of their most important players, playing game number 30 of her career today. Of course, they do have a fairly natural replacement on the bench in Izzy Dalton as a central midfielder. A smile on the face, that's hopefully a good sign for Cassidy, that she's got the right answers to the questions. And maybe it gives both teams the chance to reset, because this has been a fairly stop-start opening to the game, with only one brief phase of play from Victory showing us their best football, and Perth really yet to get going. course, it's not helped that she got a little shove to the ground on the way, but I think that was largely inconsequential to the brunt of the ball in the side of the head. Referee Rachel Mitchinson's right here on the scene policing this so that the amount of time lost to this delay isn't out of control. The questioning continues here from the Perth Medicos, though. It's always a difficult situation for the referee here to police this, because every player out there in this league knows that there's a duty of care, but also there will be some agitation to get the game going. There's the Perth bench. Izzy Dalton there, sitting second across in the bib, hasn't taken the bib off, isn't warming up, so that might suggest that Cassidy's all right to continue. Or perhaps this decision will be made over on the sideline. Well, thumbs up tells the story, so that's good news. Cassidy, of course, on the fringes of the young Matildas, but ultimately missed out on the Under-20 World Cup over winter. Something that certainly lit a fire under her and motivated some very good form this campaign. The Perth youngster hoping to prove a point about her future in this competition, but also pushing for representative honours. And a drop ball to restart play after a delay of about 2.5 minutes. And that's good news. Good work by the medical staff. Cassidy straight back on. But it's almost like we're kicking off all over again after that delay. And, well, it might become a little bit cleaner and neater, and straight away the first pass goes out for a throw on the sideline. So Victory not taking the chance to hone their radar. Little half volley from Tatham. Now Chidiac with a header. Cassidy, first touch since coming back on. Chinema scooping the ball into midfield. Firm surface, the ball rears up. Pickett volleys away. There's an early look at possession, so Victory owning the ball, but Perth hoping to build a promising attack. Wynn's hurried throw, and Bunge is keeping the ball away from Gabby Holler. Megan Wynn, the Welsh winger who was most recently at Southampton. Just getting told off by the referee here for rolling up her sleeves, perhaps. Not sure what Rachel Mitchinson was indicating there. Doesn't have an issue with Wynn seemingly trying to dry off the ball before hurling a long throw into the box. Now Holler. It's going to sit up kindly here for a shot. Scuffed and cleared away. Tian McKenna was on the hunt for a first Ninja A-League goal there. Now a clattering challenge, which draws the ire of the home fans who find their voice meaningfully for the first time. And is the former Victory player Tatham who commits the foul on Flannery. Flannery sent sprawling there. But decent signs for Perth, able to create a shooting chance, albeit one that was immediately blocked at the edge of their box. Now Janchevsky for Victory, and it's been a bit of a ropey opening playing the ball down the left for Melbourne Victory so far as it skews out for a throw in once again. Kayla Morrison back to Newbon. McKenna hunting the goalkeeper here. Newbon's clearance is knocked down by Wynn, but possession taken by Murphy. Murphy calms everything down. Perth defence already being put through a bit of work. Great defending from the front initially, and yes, rewarded with a foul and a free kick. Megan Wynn there backtracking. You can see how heavily that right knee is bandaged. Wynn's been a little bit limited in her game time since arriving in Australia due to having an injury from pre-season. Did well there, though, to get in front of Dapolonia and win the foul. Chinema. Johnston. And on the lush surface, that ball is going to hold up and stay in. So a new challenge here for Pickett down at right back. Wynn eventually the ball finds its way out. So Perth do have a throw. Will we see the long throw from Megan Wynne again? It looks as though that might be one of the plans that Perth Glories come with. So Wynne off a long run up, hurls the long throw once again. Holler outpointed in the air. McKenna beaten to the ball by Chidiac. Hooked back towards the box though. That was dangerous. Douglas on the turn. And a bouncing shot, which is held onto by Newbon. Goes down as a shot on target. Certainly not the most threatening, but again, Melbourne Victory weren't overly convincing clearing their lines. Douglas trying to score for the second game in a row on her Ninja A-League comeback. Here's Flannery, trying to use her pace against Tatham. Nikki Flannery showed too much of the ball to Tatham, who more than happy to clear it away. Victory find themselves deep in attack. Janchevski. Up against Miku Sanaga here. Sanaga holding her ground well and had support from Tatham in the end. Ball catches a deflection though. And Alana Murphy will be first to respond. Morrison to Murphy. Back to Bunge. Sanaga's clearance blocked. Tatham. And all the way back to Newbon, who's not being pressed this time, so a bit of breathing space for Victory. And Kayla Morrison with a nice aggressive touch. Opened up the pitch and plays a ball over the top. Rachel Lowe was herring after it, but Casey Dumont, the veteran keeper, game number 156 today. Still looking for a first clean sheet of the season though, Dumont. He's wearing the cap, as is often the case in these afternoon games with the setting sun. Melbourne Victory yet to win a tackle in the game, so they'll be hoping to use clean possession here, but Gielnik's cross is intercepted by Chinema. Minutes though, and they haven't won a tackle away, Melbourne Victory. Just waiting for Perth Glory to cough it up instead. Maybe this will count as one for Bunge, as she plays it to Murphy, who's been quite prominent in the game so far. Pickett. Now Chidiac. Perth won't be too unhappy about this. Melbourne Victory not moving the ball at any great speed. And looking fairly ponderous when it comes to picking the right pass. The tactical battle continues here. Newbon's turn to survey the options. You see Miku Sanaga there just looked over to the bench to see if, yes, I am supposed to press at this point. Janchevski tried for a sweeping ball down the line. Rachel Lowe. Hard against the touchline, Low. And in the end, just worried out of possession, really. Now Tatham has had the ball in her hands almost as much as at her feet in this first half, with the number of throw-ins over on the sideline. Long clearance this time from Newbon. Chinema challenging in the air against Gielnik, the much taller Gielnik, but a foul from Chinema. Oh, Gielnik certainly explaining to referee Rachel Mitchinson where the impact was. And Chinema was protesting her innocence straight away. It appears as though maybe Chinema's left arm there has caught Gielnik across the back of the head. Oh, you see Georgia Cassidy there just struggling again in the foreground. You wonder if the there's still been a bit of afterburn on that blow to the head from earlier in the game, some 15 minutes or so ago now. Here's Zog. Back to Dumont. Chinema. Morrison. Oh, pass hooked straight to Holler. Can Perth turn and go? Douglas nicks it around Morrison. Morrison gets back goal side. And now Douglas trying to keep the pressure on, but Kayla Morrison is able to clear, albeit not convincingly. Zog steps up, retakes possession for the Glory. Lowe went slipping out of the way. Cassidy. Here's McKenna. Oh, Cassidy's pass forces the defence to retreat some 15 metres. Johnston. Holler. The return ball, a good one. And now Grace Johnston is away. Striding forward here, Johnston, trying to keep the attack moving. Douglas took the shot on, shot it straight into Morrison, who made the block. And now Melbourne Victory in the counter. M. Gilnick, can she keep the ball moving at speed though? Grace Johnston has done well to get goal side here. Gilnick backs her speed. Johnston King right with her. And Gilnick drops it on the roof of the net in the end. Casey Dumont not seeing the need to even raise the arms for that one. Maybe that's an insight into how the game might break open a little bit more as it continues. It was a counter-attack from Melbourne Victory into open space, which seemed to suit them far better than some of the possession that they've had so far in the half has suggested. Dumont's restart. Ball tumbles up into the attacking half and it'll be a Victory throw. Gilnick resuming her duel with Johnston. Dapolonia. Gilnick. Now Laura Pickett. Stops and props. Plays it back to Gilnick. And Gilnick to the edge of the box. The shot's on. Blocked away immediately. Chinema diving in front of the ball. Committed defending from the Glory. Victory remain in possession. Chidiac. And then just left the ball a little strangely there. It's going to deflect onto Dapolonia. So Victory stay on the attack, and Flannery, well, missed it with the first touch, but still run. Nikki Flannery, low into the box, clipped away, only as far as Sarah Dapolonia. And now Janchevsky. And possession coughed up. Holler plays it out into open space. And that was too much of a task for Megan Wynn. You can see that neither coach is particularly happy shouting at their respective teams, particularly about the defences pushing up. Stephen Peters, the Perth Glory coach, at least he's got a smile on his face. I think he's asked for some aero guard there. He's not happy with the flies on the mosquitoes buzzing around at the home of the Matildas. As you can see in the background, there's quite a lot of trees, and that actually turns into fairly thick forest. For those of you not familiar with the area, it's connected to Melbourne's La Trobe University, this ground. There's also quite a bit of bushland around it. Here's Cassidy. Douglas on the spin and outpointed by Morrison. And a throw-in coming up for the Glory. Yeah. Like Stephen Peters, what can you say? He's giving himself a spray down and then handing it to his assistant coach, Tiana Gauci. Throw-in from Tatham. Holler back to goal. Douglas now in support. Gabby Holler. What can Perth create here? Cassidy. Can they turn this into a shot on goal? A chance now for Tatham. An uncontested cross. Tumbling in at the near post and cleared away. Morrison found Flannery, and now can Victory counter-attack. Gielnik. You see Perth numbers working their way back. Perth have got the numbers behind the ball here, and the numbers prevail. That's good transition defence there from the Glory. Chinema directing traffic. Prods the ball onto Megan Wynn. Wynn to Cassidy. What's on for the Glory now? Cassidy out to Miku Sanaga. The Japanese attacker. Oh, almost a little bit too hot to handle, but McKenna did really well to keep possession for the Glory. Sanaga keeps the ball at her feet as well. McKenna. I feel like the game's just gone up a notch with the ball speed here. Perth finally starting to string some passes together and look promising. And now a shot on the turn. A bit of a speculative hit and hope in the end. Grace Johnston has not scored in the Ninja A-League yet. Today's game number 25 for the 19-year-old. And she does play as a left back normally, so doesn't get forward and get too many sighters to try and score a goal. Morrison. Down the left sideline, low, knocked off the ball by Zog. So about a quarter of the day's action gone. Goalless at the home of the Matildas. Perth growing into the game. Victory have had a couple of moments where they've been sprightly, often when they're breaking into open space. Not so much in slower moving possession. Here's Megan Wynn. Looking to get something going here for Perth. Getting forward into attack is the defender Zog, the centre back, all the way up to the wing. Just trying to offer a bit of support there. Oni Zog. And, well, I'm not sure this will suit the Glory here. There's a drinks break, but this has come right as Perth have started to get on top in general play. So the players will go and assemble on the sidelines for a cooling break. It's not quite 30 degrees at the home of the Matildas today, but the wet bulb has indicated that these will be necessary. So let's take a look at some of the highlights of the game so far. And even though it was a bit of a scratchy opening 10 minutes, both sides have begun to warm to the task of getting into this game. We saw Gabby Holler here creating a shot, which ultimately she hooked well wide. Holler has 2 goals this season, both coming in the same game. And then a giveaway here was potentially a little bit dangerous. And Gielnik cutting it back, and, well, it just didn't run on kindly. You wouldn't even call this a half chance. You'd just call it a series of nearly moments for the Victory, where Perth were scrambling to try and get bodies in front of the ball, and ultimately Lowe has scuffed that chance, and Dapolonia a fresh air swing at the ball. So it all broke down and that was dissipated. Megan Wynn's got a long throw, and that was able to ask a few questions of the defence, and Tian McKenna, the surprise player forward there, but she shot it straight into the shins of Claudia Bunge. Of course, the form of Tian's older sister, Letitia McKenna, for Melbourne City has been noticeably good this season, but Tian is a defender, hasn't been able to hit the back of the net in her career just yet. And then Caitlin Douglas with a shot on target, albeit a fairly slow-moving one. Perhaps the most significant thing about that opportunity was that it was Melbourne Victory coughing up possession in a dangerous area, and then the youngster, Grace Johnston, trying to get forward for her first goal. Of course, her inaugural season ended in a broken leg last year. It's great to see her back. Alex Chidiac still trying to work into the game in game 100 today and game 52 for Melbourne Victory. Now, we saw Georgia Cassidy suffer a hit to the side of the head earlier in the game, and it appears as though the medicos have seen enough. So this will go down, I suspect, as a concussion substitution for Georgia Cassidy, and Charlie Wainwright comes on. Wainwright, 7th appearance for the young Perth local. And Cassidy, who we did see flagging and looking a little bit under the weather as the first 20 minutes of this game wore on, has now been subbed out. So hopefully that doesn't get any worse for her, but she's in good hands with the medical staff. And off the back of the cooling break, Melbourne Victory are now looking to press the issue. M. Gielnik on the ball. Gielnik slides it to Chidiac. The little back heel was clever. Flannery. All the key players linking up for Melbourne Victory here, but the cross is too close to the keeper. You don't need to cross there, as Jeff Hopkins shout to Nikki Flannery from the bench. So it looks as though Wainwright has been a like-for-like swap with Cassidy. No other positional changes for the Glory just yet, but we know what an important player Cassidy is. And interesting that it is the youngster Wainwright coming on and not Izzy Dalton, who might have been a more suitable like-for-like replacement. Perhaps the timing of the sub a factor in that, and how many minutes Dalton has in the legs upon her return to the Ninja A-League. You see Dalton sitting on the bench there. There's Cassidy, who's been handed the substitutes vest. Long throw, Hollow flick header on, and no one able to contest the ball beyond that. Morrison back to Newbon. Douglas, a presence, but not pressing the ball too aggressively. Newbon's clearance tumbles on to no one in particular. Chinema. Morrison turns away from Douglas, confident in a back pass though to Newbon. Now Bunge. Melbourne Victory now 100% tackle success rate. We saw that was 0 earlier in the half, so they've turned that around. Here's Pickett. Gielnik back on the right flank. Gielnik, an early cross, and meets the head of Lowe. Certainly no power behind the header though. Sliding out of the box. Sunaga went tumbling out of the way. And then Gabby Holler, a no-nonsense clearance, which is not going to find touch though. It's going to stay in here for Morrison. Dapolonia. Oh, and Bunge, a brave step around of Wynn, but able to keep the ball. Pickett striding forward. Gielnik given a bit of space by Johnston out on the wing. Gielnik can go to work. And then a low prod into the penalty area, seized upon by Chinema. Wynn went to ground, and then a tangle of legs. And, well, it was a foul paid against Wynn, and then further retaliation here. Claudia Bunge protests her innocence. So that foul was given, and then there was afters, and Claudia Bunge has shoved Megan Wynn to the ground. But I mean, Wynn grabs the leg of Bunge there as well, and that's what gives away the free kick. So both players seemingly transgressing the rules, but the whistle has gone Melbourne Victory's way. So you see Wynn there grab the leg of Bunge, and then there's afters, and Bunge shoves Wynn to the ground. I've got to say, Wynn is very lucky not to get a card for grabbing a player's leg like that. It's a very deliberate foul. Rachel Mitchinson seemingly keeping the cards in the pocket. There's going to be a talking to here with Megan Wynn. Wynn is a veteran at 31 years of age, so would have seen it all before playing in the English league system. And it looks as though Georgia Cassidy is heading to the rooms for further assessment. So watch this space. Not great news for the Perth Glory youngster. Hopefully she will be okay though. And here is the resulting free kick. So after a little bit of from Wynn and Bunge, here's Murphy with the resulting free kick. Volleyed on by Bunge. A shallow clearance, and the ball volleyed in. Kayla Morrison was all on her own in the penalty area. And after a fairly tame header attempted to clear, it's been gifted to Morrison, who lashed it back in. Well, it was not the most convincing free kick, but the header straight to Morrison, who was unmarked and was able to lash it past Casey Dumont. It caught the underside of the woodwork, but one has to wonder, what on earth was Morrison doing completely unmarked like that? And that is what a goal means as Melbourne Victory take a 1-0 lead. Second of the season, and now in a 70-game Ninja A-League career, it's goal number 11 for the centre-back. Morrison last scored in Unite round back in November against the Mariners. And it's her first career goal against the Glory. Played against them 8 times now. And it's the first time that Kayla Morrison has a goal against them. And Perth, for all the committed and disciplined defending they had done through the first half an hour, will really feel like they've given away a cheap one there. And so, what response do the Glory have? Chinema. Bunge. It's worth remembering it was from the free kick that Bunge won that led to that free kick, which wasn't really dealt with. On the live table, that moves Melbourne Victory up to 24 points in second place behind Melbourne City on 26. Zog goes for a long ball through the right channel, straight onto the head of Janchevsky. Big 2-on-1, crunching challenge. McKenna spilled the ball. Chidiac was first to respond. Able to protect the ball and get it to Murphy. Back to Morrison. D'Apollonia. And a long clearance from the goal scorer, Kayla Morrison. Awkward to deal with. Flannery trying to catch Tatham. Tatham goes to ground, but there's no whistle. And now Zog helps out. Holler. And now Tatham in a bit more space. And the frustration continues for Perth. They still haven't kept a clean sheet since Casey Dumont returned to the team. 8 games now. Win. Chinema. Back to McKenna. And here goes Grace Johnston, breaking into the attacking half. Next pass all important though for the Glory. Holler. Now Douglas can play it out to the wing. No, she can't. Offside flag is up. First time the Glory have been trapped offside today. Disappointment there on the sideline and out on the pitch. Promising build-up coming unstuck due to Douglas straying offside. Chinema's header. Second ball is there to be won. Pickett committed. That might leave a gap now over at right back, and Megan Wynn will look to exploit. Wynn, how much speed is in the legs of the winger, though? We saw how heavily bandaged that knee is. And ultimately, the ball is yielded to Bunge, who then wins a throw with the aid of a deflection. So Perth will press their numbers up and try to create a trap. Pickett shielding the eyes here, taking this throw in. Gilnick, Chidiac. So Perth Glory haven't kept a clean sheet in the A-League Women's since the 20th of January of last year. So it'll be more than a year since their last clean sheet after today. Chinema here. And this will make it 20 consecutive games conceding a goal for the Glory. So they're in need of a comeback today. Can they manufacture something as they search for an equaliser before half-time? Chinema hurried onto that pass. Zog selling her teammate into trouble and now pops back over the top. Lowe was off and running. Dumont striding out of the penalty area. Wynn brings it down. Well, not quite to the advantage of Johnston, but Wynn, well, fell spectacularly, and the referee agrees this time. Wynn hasn't been on the same page as our referee, Rachel Mitchinson, on every call today, but there's agreement this time. Free kick given. Foul by Sarah Dapolonia. Here's another look. And there can be no argument there. Dapolonia has made fairly clear contact with Wynn's thigh and knee. And so Perth Glory back moving the ball. Zog. Oh, Janchevsky jumped out onto the pass. Can she? Low. Not much by way of support. Chidiac will help though. Bunge. Chidiac. And out steps Zog from the centre of defence. Given away here, Pickett. Advancing forward here, Laura Pickett. And a slide challenge from Chinema was vital. Chinema crashing in. Dapolonia deflecting it out. Both teams thought it was their throw. The assistant points in Perth Glory's direction. Holla. Douglas. Crossfield pass to Sunaga, trying to send it back across in the other direction, but straight to Morrison. McKenna. Douglas again. It's been a very combative game. Perth just wants some clean possession this time as they build up. Melbourne Victory is set behind the ball. Sunaga. Oh. Taken out by Janchevsky, and it will be a mid-range free kick here. Potentially a dangerous one for the Glory. Janchevsky not a natural defender and has been asked to go and play as a left wing-back ever since Beattie Goad's retirement at the end of the calendar year. Janchevsky, who, if you gave her a choice, would probably be playing as a central attacking midfielder rather than a left wing-back, but she is left-footed, and that maybe was enough that Jeff Hopkins needed to know in order to set her in this new position. That's the setup. Glory have got a few aerial targets to aim for. Naomi Chinema has scored a header already this season. Gabby Holler has one with a header as well. Only Zog still looking for that first Ninja A-League goal, so they've got some targets to aim for here with the right delivery. It's going to be Tian McKenna drifting it into the box. It skims off heads initially. Holler's touch. Well, she might have been offside. It wouldn't have counted. But it was a first touch that failed to control the ball in any case. Here's another look. So the skim header was initially from Douglas, and then Holler couldn't control the ball. But it wouldn't have counted. It would have been offside. So we expect to be quite a bit of stoppage time in this first half. So 3 minutes to go, but a combination of injuries and a drinks break means that there's still plenty of time to affect the state of the game before the break. It's Victory now with no real incentive to hurry things up. They're the team in the lead. The onus is on Perth to try and get things going. Victory seemingly happy to manage this game to the break. Here's Gielnik trying to weave through, and then the pass, not quite enough on it, but defending from the front, and a free kick in shooting range. And the industry of Alex Chidiac able to earn a free kick in what will be prime shooting position here as the Victory go in search of a second goal. And the touch was just a little bit loose there from Tian McKenna. And as she crashed into Alex Chidiac trying to win back her own ball, she's wiped out Chidiac here, the milestone player. And so a discussion will ensue. Alana Janchevsky is trotted up from left back in order to stand over this free kick as the left-footed option. M. Gielnik wants to be part of the conversation as well. Gielnik looking to retake outright lead in the Golden Boot with what would be goal number 8 of the season. He's currently in a 4-way tie with Fiona Wirtz of Adelaide, Carly Johnson of Western United, and Lainey Fryer of the Brisbane Roar. Who will prevail? It is going to be Janchevsky, and it's high over the bar and not really troubling the frame of Casey Dumont's goal. Janchevsky, who has 3 goals this season, 2 of them from the penalty spot, not able to make the most of that free kick there. So it's hardly been a fire and brimstone response from the Glory to going behind. And perhaps Melbourne Victory looking to end the half a little stronger here. Murphy pops the ball over the top. Rachel Lowe will run onto it here. Cuts it across to Gielnik and blocked away by Chinema. The follow-up is saved by Dumont. Rachel Lowe trying for the roundhouse volley, and Dumont was there at close range. Victory not done attacking though. Low, and now cleared by Tatham. Douglas. It's going to be 5 additional minutes at the end of the first half. The game has sprung back to life again here. Leaves it with Wynn. Can Perth strike in the other direction then? Wainwright. Plays it to Sunaga. Early ball. Asking a lot of Wynn here, who's switched flanks over to the right. Has come over for a visit. And then can't generate any power on the cross. Taken away by Dapolonia. Gielnik was a block away from retaking that lead in the Golden Boot. Chinema was fantastic in defence, but is going to have to be ready again here. Gielnik from distance. And drifts it out for a goal kick. But this was smart from Lowe. She's made a couple of runs onto those long balls in the half and selflessly across to Gielnik there. And it was only the full-length dive from Naomi Chinema that blocked Gielnik's shot, and then Dumont was quickly out to foil Rachel Lowe herself. Of course, Lowe building in confidence again after a goal-shy start to the season. She finally broke through for her first of the campaign against Newcastle last weekend. That was really smart play from Lowe there to play it into the path of Gielnik. Here goes Wynn. Wynn's made the switch over to the right flank and wins a corner. Crowd appreciates the defensive hustle of Alana Janchevsky, but Megan Wynn, that so much of that right knee is bandaged up, but she was able to show her speed there. And a late switch in the half, sending the winger over to the right side, asking some new questions of this Victory defence, and maybe a corner can be Glory's avenue back into the game. Tian McKenna comes across to take. Again, they've got some good aerial targets, the Glory. Holler, Zog, Chinema, plenty to aim for. All about the delivery. They're going to go for a short corner instead. McKenna here takes the meters, clips it to the back post over the head of all and sundry. Chinema, second time ball, drifting back in, falling at the far post. Holler was there, and Chidiac, safety first, puts it out for another corner. And the Melbourne Victory defence needed everyone present there to defend that situation. McKenna wasting no time. Do they go for the same plan here? Or do we see a more conventional delivery? Newbon having to shield her eyes from the sun in the victory goal. McKenna's corner. And met solidly by Holler, appealing for handball, but she was one out there. None of her teammates seemed to see what Holler did. Wynn controls the ball, breaks into the area, Megan Wynn, and hangs it too close to the keeper. Good claim by Newbon. Perth finishing the half with a flurry, though. 3 of 5 additional minutes ticked by. And they've been lively. It's a game that's been a slow burn at times, but we really are reaching a crescendo at the end of the first half. Here's Chidiac. Victory would love a second to take into the rooms. Feels like they might be able to put down the Perth resistance if they score again, but not with a pass like that. The ball harmlessly running out for a goal kick. Dumont has taken off the hat, interestingly, right at the end of the first half. The Shadows will creep out for another 15 minutes during half time, so they'll be about halfway through the penalty area by the time we kick off the second half, and you'd think by full time the entire penalty area, if not the entire pitch, will no longer be still in the sun. Here's Sunaga, who, as part of that winger swap, is now over on the left. Murphy, Pickett. Is able to roll back to Claudia Bunge. Last minute of the additional 5 at the end of the first half. Chidiac brings it down for victory. Dapolonia trying to hold off not one but 2 midfield opponents and did well. Janchevsky out to Flannery. Nikki Flannery trying to build a head of steam. And back comes Tatham, little chop tackle. Flannery drags Tatham to ground, and that might be the final play of the first half here. Only 10 seconds of the additional 5 remaining. Oh, Perth want to go quickly, but they're going to have to hurry here if they want to get the ball down to their attacking end. And indeed, that will be half-time. And in a game which has had so much determined defending, it was one real moment of indiscipline and loose checking from the Perth defence that left Kayla Morrison free to volley in for the only goal of the game so far. Perth have had some bright sparks and some bright ideas, but Melbourne Victory will feel as though they're good value for their 1-0 lead at the moment. It's Melbourne Victory 1, Perth Glory 0. And so let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. Gabby Holler here was able to fashion space for a shot, but hooked it well wide of the target. The American striker trying to score for the first time in some weeks now. And we had a chance for Tian McKenna here as well, which was blocked away. Caitlin Douglas. This will go down as a shot on target, but certainly not the most forcefully hit strike. And Grace Johnston as well here. All of these coming before Georgia Cassidy had to be subbed off with a concussion sub. Was cleared to continue after an early blow to the head, but ultimately had to leave the game. Here's the goal. Claudia Bunge slices it high, a far from convincing defensive clearance, and then Kayla Morrison, free as a bird, completely unmarked. And given how disciplined the Glory had been in this game, it was a shock to see her all on her own in the penalty area. And that is a great finish. You wouldn't know she's a centre-back, being able to score goals like that. Second of the season and 11th of her Ninja A-League career for the Victory captain. And then later in the half, a great ball from Alana Murphy, an equally good run from Rachel Lowe, and then M. Gilnick blocked away by Chinema, and that was Victory's best chance to double their advantage. But they take this 1-0 lead in possession exactly 50-50, as you can see there. Passing accuracy, Perth shading it ever so slightly. There's been plenty of fouls. It's been a physical game. And even though there haven't been too many corners, there have been plenty of free kicks and set pieces. But that halftime score is Melbourne Victory 1, leading Perth Glory 0.
focused. Let's go. Unfortunately, she's too side. We're doing well scoring the goals here this evening. Okay, Emily. Let's have a big round of applause, Emily. Oh, it's straight into goal as well. Well, we're having a good time scoring here. Not too much hitting the crossbar. Final chance. Well, here we go. Last chance for this. Changing the run up. Oh, it's a decent shot. It just misses the crossbar. It's a great goal. Okay, Emily, your chance to win the signed World Picture Home jersey. Let's go. Always on the ball. Ooh. Well, congratulations, Lions. You're the closest. You get to take home a signed World Picture. How do you feel after? Well, great work. And obviously the good conditions here, but you did a great job now you take home the signed jersey. Thank you.
Plenty of action coming up in the Ninja A-League tomorrow. Let's take a look at the game between Sydney FC and the Central Coast Mariners, starting inside the Sydney camp. Defender Jordan Thompson spoke about her defensive partnership with fellow centre-back Natalie Tobin.
Oh my gosh, playing next to Nat is amazing. I feel so lucky and honored that I get to play next to her. She's an amazing player. She just raises the level every single day at training, and getting to play next to her, but also to learn from her, not just from her on the field, but off the field. She's obviously been at the club for a long time, and she's a really incredible leader. So just having the opportunity to play next to somebody and get to learn from somebody and have someone of that as a friend like Nat has been really, really amazing. I think for us, it's a similar focus we had last year. It's not paying attention to the results, not paying attention to the standings, just paying attention to what we bring to training and what we bring to the game every day. I think that's a huge emphasis that Ante takes, is just doing the right things, being super disciplined, making the right decisions on the field, making the right decisions off the field, working really hard, having each other's backs, and I think as long as we continue to do those things, we'll continue to climb in the ladder. Mariners is a super great team. Their front line is amazing, their middle's amazing, and their back line's amazing, including their goalkeeper. So it's just a really solid team. I think we always get really excited for that game. They're a really tough opponent, very physical. So just knowing we have to win our individual battles and be ourselves as we go forward for the game.
Jordan Thompson there. Let's hear some of the Mariners' perspective with their coach Em Husband, and first, their midfielder turned defender, Taylor Ray.
I think that was a great momentum building, a game against Wanderers. You know, we went in there trying to work on our attacking pieces, get some more chances away, but also work on our defensive line as well. Obviously, we've had a few shifts in the team and whatnot, but we're all around each other working for that next step, and I think this game is another one where we can build and show our stuff. I'm very excited for another rematch against them. First round, obviously we came away with the 3 points, very important for us, but I think this one adds a lot more pressure for us as well to get higher on the table, but against a team who's also desperate for points as well. Sydney have a lot of pace up front, and as a backline, you know, whether to step or to drop is something you need to communicate and be kind of switched on for. And Sydney, they have some long-range shots they've scored recently in the last few of their games. So they do have some individual threats, and that's something we need to take in consideration and make sure we match that and also show our quality too.
It was obviously a really good, really positive performance from us to get, you know, to create that many chances in the final third for us was obviously a huge positive. And when you've got players scoring their first A-League women's goals, it's always a special, you know, moment. So yeah, really, really happy for both Brooke and Tess. Great finish from Tess. We know that's what she's capable of. She's got to take those opportunities more often. I was just really proud of the girls of how many chances they did create, because it's something that we've not been notorious for so far this season. It's something we've been really working hard on. So to see that work in games and coming off, you know, that's the first step towards, you know, scoring more goals and you know, as well as creating more chances.
So we've heard from both teams. Let's hear from the experts now. Former A-League star Teresa Polias and Narlene Masto with a match preview.
On Sunday at 5 p.m, we'll head to Leichhardt Oval as Sydney FC will be home to welcome Central Coast Mariners. Now, Teresa, perhaps you can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief because they are off the rock bottom of the Ninja A-League table, but Sydney are conceding goals quite early in games. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, look, I think there's been a few mistakes and lapses at key moments, and they do tend to be punished for those at the moment, and not taking their own chances also plays a part in that.
Lucy Johnson has been in fine form. We've seen her score 2 goals back-to-back in the last few matches. How important is she to this side?
Extremely. Not only is she scoring goals, but her performance in general play has been very good for the Sky Blues. So, she is a key player moving forward in that midfield. So it's down to her to win her individual battles, and hopefully, as a result, Sydney FC can get a bit of success out of that.
And the Mariners will be absolutely buzzing heading into this game because they picked up a really impressive win, and we saw Brooke Nunn score her first goal of the season as well. Do you think that the chemistry in this Mariners attack is really starting to form now?
Absolutely. They're on the way up again, and that cohesion has improved, as well as them taking more care in possession, and it's resulted in goals now. So they'll be really happy to be coming up against Sydney now that they're back in good form.
Let's see how this one plays out. It's live at Leichhardt Oval and you can catch it on 10 Play or Paramount Plus.
So Melbourne Victory leading Perth Glory 1-0 at halftime in this contest. It's all part of a massive summer of football.
It's football's hottest summer.
Well, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, that is just pretty to watch.
78 games across 28 days.
That is unbelievable.
It's the A-League's biggest summer of football ever.
Oh my goodness, what a strike.
Action-packed fun for everyone these holidays. Family passes start from only $24. Search A-League's tickets online to get your tickets today.
So Melbourne Victory back out on the pitch. There's your goal scorer from the first half, Kayla Morrison, her second of the season. She scored a header against the Central Coast back in Unite round, and it was a sweetly struck volley, which is the difference between the two teams here today. Jeff Hopkins and his assistant coach, Jono Clemente, there, brainstorming, perhaps talking about substitution strategy as well for the second half. It's been a game that has been played at walking pace at times. Perth Glory, they've come with a pretty good tactical setup today. They will be so disappointed at how they conceded the goal because their defence, for the most part, has been quite disciplined and quite organised. And it was one piece of loose checking on that free kick that allowed Kayla Morrison all the time in the world to volley in. Megan Wynn, she's a fierce competitor, the 31-year-old from Wales. And we've seen the commitment she's got. She's covered in bandages today, but has been able to provide a bit of an outlet. Be interesting to see if her and Miku Sanaga switch wings and go back to how they started the game, or if it keeps on that it'll be Wynn on the right and Sunaga on the left, which is how they ended the first half. Alex Chidiac in game 100, hoping to make it. There, of course, is the Melbourne girl, Naomi Chinema, called this city home for all of her career until taking the brave move to go west. Of course, Chinema, still only 20 years of age. So, kick-off at the start of the second half. Perth Glory trailing 1-0 as they attack the left of your screens. And Kayla Morrison's goal, the difference between the two sides, currently putting Melbourne Victory second on the Ninja A-League table. Just 2 points off ladder leaders Melbourne City, with, of course, Brisbane Roar potentially having a say in that as they play Adelaide United tomorrow. But right now it's all about Perth's hunt for an equaliser and Victory looking to consolidate their hold on second place. For those of you who have only just joined us, there was a substitution just before the half-hour mark with Georgia Cassidy coming off for Charlie Wainwright, who's sending the ball here over to Wynn, who's gone back to the left wing, which is where she started the game. Brought down by Grace Johnston. Now Tian McKenna can't resist the invitation to shoot from distance. McKenna. Well, she's had her eye on goal today, the young defender. Tian McKenna had a shot blocked in the first half and fired that one over from distance there. Courtney Newbon may have had it covered. But a sign of intent from Perth in the very first minute of the second half. Of course, this was the scoreline when the teams met over at the Sam Kerr Football Centre on the 8th of December. So some 6 weeks ago when they last played. We are getting to that time of the season where teams are starting to tick off the full set of fixtures, playing a team for the second time. Of course, you play everyone you met in Unite round 3 times this season. As the ball finds its way out here. Nat Tatham to take the throw. And bouncing not quite to the advantage of Morrison. She's got Gabby Holler here trying to make it difficult to get out of defence. Janchevsky down the line. Flannery helping out. Now Murphy. Playing it back to Janchevsky. Zog leaps up to the ball. Oni Zog. Wearing the captain's armband today, of course, co-captain with Izzy Dalton, who's on the bench. So Dalton was wearing the armband earlier in the season when Zog was out injured, but Zog wearing it today. Tatham's throw, Holler not able to roll onto the ball. Zog takes possession and then turns back to Tatham. Here's Chinema. Crossfield ball, a good one. Win. And Laura Pickett refusing to be beaten down in the right back corner. She's got everything it takes to become a real fan favourite, Laura Pickett, because she's a fierce competitor. She's got great physicality. And of course, it always helps to be a homegrown Melbourne local. Here she is on the ball right now. Stuck in a 1-on-2. Chidiac comes in to help out. And so down in front of the benches, Victory continue to work their way along the sideline. Here's Gielnik. Pickett. Back to Murphy. And out into open space for Janchevski. He's going to survey the options here and go for a sweeping long ball. Janchevski hoping for Gielnik. And Gielnik will make ground, but takes it down to the opposite corner. Just able to keep it in. Gielnik up against Grace Johnston. A low, scuffed left-footed cross. It caught a deflection, and Chinema, well, safety first, has put it out. And as you can see, the Shadows have only just started creeping into the penalty area. So Cassie Dumont has gone and grabbed the cap again for the second half. And it's perhaps even more pronounced down at the right of screen, looking into the sun here at the home of the Matildas. Alex Chidiac, who famously scored an Olympico away to the Perth Glory a couple of seasons ago. Does she go direct on target here? Chidiac lifting it high to the back post. Gabby Holler won the header. Sunaga first to the drop of the ball, and volleys clear. And Sunaga bombs away, finds the safety of touch. Possession as it was at halftime, exactly 50-50. We don't have a ball-dominant team in this one so far. Dapolonia. Janchevski caught in possession. Sunaga. Well, it took a kind bounce for Janchevski to reclaim possession. Flannery. Well, Chidiac tried to roll with the ball. Wainwright was having none of it. Won the ball away for Perth. Oh, and an errant touch from Douglas, the Glory. They were nearly away there. Great play from Charlie Wainwright in midfield, though. Murphy looking to send it back the other way for Victory now. Gielnik coming out of the shadows. Chidiac, the cross round the corner, and Rachel Lowe's run not honoured by the Chidiac pass there. Bit of miscommunication, a little bit of frustration. Chidiac nodding there at Jeff Hopkins. Very specific instruction coming from the sideline. Of course, as long as this game stays at 1-0, Perth will fancy their chances of finding a way back into the contest. They haven't been full of goals this year, but they've got pretty much all their attacking weapons out on the pitch at the moment. McKenna, Holler. McKenna again. Douglas tries to keep it moving. Victory players all converge on the ball at the same time, and it's cleared away. Chinema crashing through to win the header. Now Tatham's turn. Keeps it moving. Sunaga, Murphy, Flannery. Volleyed on by Janchevski. Looking at that Perth Glory bench, they have one recognised attacker, Tanika Lala, who did score a goal last season in the very last home and away game of the campaign, but still a youngster who's only played 6 times in this league at 20 years of age. So most of the Perth big guns trying to find a goal are currently out on the pitch. See, they've had 7 shots. There are some of the subs warming up. Lala third in line, Claudia Valletta, and also Izzy Dalton. And there's the backup goalkeeper, Miranda Templeman, who, of course, used to play for the Victory. Here's Douglas, edge of the box. And just being squeezed further and further away by Dapolonia. Gielnik. He's got McKenna for company. Gielnik, a show of strength. And now clips the ball on promisingly. Rachel Lowe. Well, the offside flag goes up. What an anticlimax for the Victory. The home fans were swelling there, sensing a great chance for Rachel Lowe, but she's straight offside. Zog. Oh, good use of the body there from Douglas. Can she run onto the ball? Oh, Bunch had to go to ground, so it's a Perth throw. Good play by Douglas. How many minutes has she got in the legs? Second game back. And of course, being a Perth local, first road game. A trip she would have known oh so well, going across the country every second week. Throw in down the line. Flannery heading away. Douglas capitalises on a second ball. Wainwright sends it back to McKenna. Now back to Zog. Chinema. Johnston. Perth building up through the channels here. Wynn takes on Pickett. Pickett guarding her area of the pitch successfully once again. Chidiac. And fouled by McKenna, and referee Rachel Mitchinson has no choice but to reach for the yellow card. And nowhere near the ball there. That little swipe from Tian McKenna. And she will indeed have to watch her step. So McKenna receives the yellow. Quick chat with Alex Chidiac. Of course, those two would have crossed paths plenty of times. They were both at Melbourne City. McKenna, very much Perth local, but has spent some of her career over on the East Coast. Here's Pickett. And now Gielnik, who's getting into the game more and more. Nicks the ball around Chinema, clips it in, and it just misses low. The attack's still alive, and a good save by Dumont. Nikki Flannery foiled. Well, great play by Gielnik, and Dumont couldn't quite bat it away. Flannery had the chance, and Dumont saving down at the near post. Victory, another good chance to take a 2-0 lead, and just perhaps stretch this game a little bit further away from the glory. But Casey Dumont, who spent so much time at the Victory, coming up with an important stop once again. So 10 minutes into the second half. And Melbourne Victory have now had a very good opportunity to double their lead. Chinema went to ground, a bit awkward, squeaked it away from low in the nick of time. Well, this is something that might worry the glory a little. Just a few more breaks in concentration and little errors starting to creep in. Solid header from Wynn. Holler. Back to Wynn. And volleyed on to no one in particular. That'll be keeper's ball for Courtney Newbot. Rolls it out to Murphy. You can see Perth. They've got the press right up here, hunting the ball. And they do spill possession. A little tactical win for the glory. Can they make the most of it, though? Holler. Keeping possession, it's Gabby Holler. Great save by Newbon. Full stretch from the Victory keeper. And Gabby Holler brings the best out of Newbon there. It was a bending shot. It was twisting back towards that post. And Courtney Newbon was able to turn it around and out. Double change here for the glory. Tanika Lala and Claudia Valletta are coming on. And Caitlin Douglas's number is up. So Douglas leaves the game for Lala, who will come on in a like-for-like swap as an attacker there. And Perth with an attacking corner here. Miku Sanaga has made way, so Claudia Valletta comes on. We'll see how that affects the positioning, because Valletta is nominally a fullback, so we'll see if that leads to a few switches. Here's the resulting corner, and it's a letdown. Well, Perth, off the back of one of their best attacking chances of the game, then give away the subsequent corner for nothing. It's a good piece of play from Gabby Holler, though, and Courtney Newbon very much equal to it. And you can just tell Perth had ramped up the intensity. Maybe that's why they've gone for the subs as well. They want to keep this press going. You see the number 26 shirt of Tanika Lala there, now leading the line. Youngster who made her name by scoring goals for fun at Fremantle City. Getting her shot in the Perth Glory team. Here's Holler, and loses out to Chidiac. And Gabby Holler, well, a bit of insult to, thankfully, not a seemingly serious injury. She's still down and hurt, though, having given away this foul. Very heavy landing there on her left shoulder. Is she okay? That's the question. Seems to be all right. McKenna, got to be careful here, McKenna, on a yellow card, has fouled Chidiac again, and Rachel Mitchinson is reaching for the pocket. Well, it's a disaster for the Glory, and a red card for Tian McKenna. The one player on a yellow card has gone in on the same player again. It was Alex Chidiac with the first foul, and she's fouled Alex Chidiac again, and now receives her marching orders. And Perth Glory, having just made a double sub, are now down to 10 players, and those 2 yellow cards came just 4 minutes apart. Well, it's a huge advantage for Melbourne Victory. How aggressively do they press for a second now? And what does this do for Perth tactically as well? Of course, McKenna will receive a suspension in addition to having to miss the rest of today's game. It'll just be the 1 week for 2 yellows. But it means that Tian McKenna won't be back in Melbourne midweek. Perth Glory's next game is on Tuesday night down at Ironbark Fields. They take on Western United, so they've got a little Melbourne double that they're on at the moment. And yet you have to wonder, we'll stay with this phase of play first before we discuss any more about the red card, which you can now see reflected on your scoreboard there, that Perth are down to 10 players. And what will Victory do to try and exploit the player advantage? Gilnick. Laura Pickett with the underlapping run. Chinema comes across, another tough tackle. And Chinema's come off a little worse for wear. So here's the second yellow card, and again, the ball's away. Just think it. McKenna, she's only a young player, only 20 years old, and that'll be a learning experience for her, but you can't help but think that some of the Perth leaders in the Perth sideline needed to get the instruction out to McKenna that she had to play within her limitations. If that means someone runs past you, it's more important to your teammates that you stay out there and keep it 11 versus 11. And here's the little knock for Chinema that left her a little worse for wear. She's been able to get back up though. Pickett's throw. Bouncing, Chinema again, called into action. Wynn will prevent a corner. Pickett off the shoulder this time. Rachel Lowe buzzing around. Victory want a second. They want to consolidate their advantage, both on the scoreboard and in terms of the numbers. Chidiac. Out to the left flank. Flannery. Dapolonia. Flannery again. Chidiac calling for the ball. First time pass. And it slides just beyond the lunge of Rachel Lowe, who's been getting into some promising positions today, Lowe. He's got that taste for scoring goals again and was very close here. Of course, Melbourne Victory fans will be the first to tell you that Alex Chidiac doesn't get protected enough by referees. She gets fouled an awful lot. Many of them are quite hard fouls. So today, Tian McKenna has learned the hard way about fouling Alex Chidiac. If Perth can score here, down a player, it would be a real team lifter. Oh, foul by Murphy. No, not paid. Win with a yelp of pain. Advantage has been given. Holler shoots from distance. And the battle between Gabby Holler and Courtney Newbon continues to go Newbon's way. Well, it looked a foul for all money, and indeed Rachel Mitchinson did waive advantage there for the foul in the back of Megan Wynn. Here's Zog, Perth, sensing the moment to get forward again here. Zog over the head of Wynn. It's going to stay in, though, the ball. And the attack is still going. Wynn drops the shoulder. Well, caught a little bit of contact from Pickett, but not able to sell it to the referee. And now Gilnick away. Taking on Grace Johnston, who's sticking to task here against Gilnick. Has now got help in the form of Wainwright. Two of the Perth youngsters trying to combine against the Matilda. And they have had too many little bites at the ankles in the end and a free kick given. Well, the veteran Matilda there up against the two Perth youngsters. And that little tap of the ankles from Charlie Wainwright was enough to lead to a free kick. And so a mid-ranger here, which will be coming out of the shadows into the sun for Melbourne Victory. Rachel Lowe's just gone over to the sidelines to have a quick drink, maybe get an instruction or two. So big moment here for the Glory. Can they keep it at 1-0, keep themselves in with a fighting chance of getting something out of today's game? Big defensive stand coming up right here. Murphy, the right-footed option. Janchevski, the left. Just one in the wall. Players shielding their eyes as they look into the sun. And here comes the free kick. It will be Murphy to take. Bending it to the edge of the box where it's all Glory. Murphy gets a second chance. And is dispossessed by Johnston. Just looking a little sore there, Alana Murphy, favouring the left adductor perhaps. Hopefully that's not something that will be an ongoing concern. She seems all right. Here's Pickett. And given away by Gilnick. Lala can't keep possession. Pickett stood her ground. Bunge. Long ball over the top. And, well, Casey Dumont's backing off here. Bit of ponderous defending in the end. And the clearance from Tatham is going to come back with interest. Lowe plays it to Gilnick. And the Perth defence crash in to concede a corner. But they really didn't deal with that well. It was a clearance that just invited the pressure right back on. That pass there, straight to Nikki Flannery. And then all of a sudden, Lowe had possession inside the box. And so Victory get a neat little bonus in the form of this corner kick coming up. Over goes Janchevski to see the wind. It's barely a wind, it's more of a breeze. It's just swirling at the moment. Janchevski says, get these cones out of the way. I've got to run up to measure out here. So here comes the corner kick. Janchevski right to the hot spot. It's repelled away, and then Wynn first to clear. Lala, a lone hand up top for Perth, and Dapolonia ushers the ball out. So still plenty of time to go in the game. Victory haven't made it immediately obvious that it's 11 versus 10. Certainly not overwhelming the Glory at the moment, who are holding their own, even though there's been a red card. Long ball here from Janchevski onto the head of Chinema. Wainwright up against Dapolonia. Murphy right through the middle. Holler barged over Chidiac legally. Gabby Holler turns and, well, tried to play Win, but Pickett intercepted. And Laura Pickett, well, overhit the pass on that occasion. Casey Dumont is down to the corner of the box to retrieve. Long clearance from Dumont, and a bit of a miscommunication there. Gives Perth Glory a throw. And taken quickly here, Tanika Lala, well, nearly onto the ball. Of course, you can't be offside from a throw-in. And Megan Wynn was able to identify that and hurled it towards Tanika Lala. Perth Glory not able to make the most of it. But again, signs that as long as this game lingers at 1-0, the Glory have got the talent to potentially grab something. Melbourne Victory will be acutely aware that they've coughed up leads this season. They've let teams back into games. Think of the last time they were here at the home of the Matildas, 2 goals up late in the night against the Wanderers, only to leave with a 4-all draw. Janchevski, the early ball. It's going to be deflected back to Dumont, keeping it away from Rachel Lowe. Good combination defending there. No thoughts of calling it a back pass either. Dapolonia is going to take on Wainwright. Wainwright goes to ground. Great challenge. Well played by the Perth youngster. And now plays it to Wynn. Megan Wynn up against Laura Pickett. Pickett barges in. And both players think it's their throw-in. And Pickett gets the nod. Or does she? Well, either way, it's going to be a drinks break. So we're going to have a little delay here. There's a Perth Glory player down as well. And so this will take us into the final 20 minutes of regulation here, with Melbourne Victory enjoying a 1-0 win. And Charlie Wainwright, we saw that, well, quite literally full-blooded slide challenge a moment ago, and that's going to require some running repairs. It was a great slide tackle, though. So, some of the second half highlights. Tian McKenna firing that shot over the bar in the very first minute of the second half, as Perth showed a bit of their intent. Then M. Gielnik had a bit of a purple patch over on the right wing for the Victory, and Alex Chidiac wasn't quite able to link up with Rachel Lowe. Gielnik, of course, in a 4-way tie for the lead of the Golden Boot at the moment on 7 goals. And it was Gielnik again here, nicking around Chinema and not quite able to put it on the head of Lowe. And then Flannery drawing a close-range save at the near post out of Casey Dumont. A closer look there at how Flannery forced Dumont into that save. And then Gabby Holler here, persistence, and this is the save of the game so far from Courtney Newbon. Leaping full stretch to tip Holler's attempt around the post. And that would have been a great equaliser for the Glory, if not for the fingertips of the Victory keeper. And then Tian McKenna. That was her first yellow card. That came in the 55th minute. And then, just 4 minutes later, same player, same opponent, and same outcome. The only problem is when it's the same outcome when you've already got 1 yellow card, it's followed by a red. And Tian McKenna was sent off at the hour mark, leaving this game at 11 versus 10. And then that chance skidding just wide of Rachel Lowe. Perth even down to 10 players with Gabby Holler here. It was going wide, but Courtney Newbon wasn't to know. Got down and made a save. And so Sophia Sakalis has been subbed on here off the back of the cooling break for Melbourne Victory. Of course, she spent a number of seasons over at Perth Glory, even though she's a Melbourne youngster.
It's a throw, it's a victory throw, victory throw.
And Wainwright, who was subbed on in the first half, they can't stop the bleeding here. And so it's worth remembering Wainwright was a sub on for Cassidy, who came off concussed. So didn't use that substitution window up for the Glory. And Izzy Dalton straight into the action. The number 23 has come on. So Dalton is back for the Glory. And hopefully they can fix the leg of Charlie Wainwright, who was having quite a good game. So unfortunately for her, the sub has been subbed. And she's out of the action from here. So a throw in for Glory. We know Wynn's got the long throw. That's straight onto the head of Janchevski, though. Edge of the box. Dalton. Wynn lifts in across. Picks out Morrison. Edge of the box. Johnston's there. Victory numbers converge. Tatham now with an attempt and sliced high and wide in the end. Of no great threat to Courtney Newbon's goal. And again, Perth stay right in the game. Nikki Flannery, the player coming off for Melbourne Victory, so Sophia Sakalis could come on, but that's a worry. Kayla Morrison just favouring her right knee. She's a warrior, though. Looks as though there's no call for the trainer. Just a little moment of pain, but otherwise able to walk it off. So, goal kick from Newbon, flicked on by Gielnik. Rachel Lowe back to goal, protecting the ball well. Brings Chidiac into play. Alex Chidiac sliding it on. Sakalis' first touch. Now Dapolonia back to Chidiac again. Valletta steps out and wins possession effectively. Win back to Valletta. And Rachel Mitchison just held the whistle there to see if there was advantage. There wasn't. And so Valletta, the young Sydney sider who's moved over to Glory to get her first shot in the Ninja A-League, wins the free kick. And down the line goes Valletta. Perth Glory leading the shot count. They have got into positions to score today. Fun moment for that youngster, getting to play ball kit. Will no doubt be hanging over the fence for a hello and a selfie after the game. Here's Sakalis. Long ball here and low. Oh, Dumont right on the tiptoes at the edge of the penalty area. Didn't want to stray outside the box, but did well to claim. Johnston, good aggressive touch. Straight into the attacking half. Puts the head down here. Grace Johnston still running. And the ball deflects out in front of Tanika Lala. Is that a corner? Confusion here, but yes, a corner is the decision. Great play by the Perth Glory left back. So here's Izzy Dalton to take the corner kick. Just making sure the ball is set to the referee's satisfaction, but this is a big opportunity for Perth here. Chance to draw level from the corner. Dalton into the near post it goes. It sits up in the box, cleared away from Zog. Consecutive corners. You see there, Zog was present. It just took a little nick off Pickett and then was ushered away. So repeat corners here. Dalton's had one-sider. That's what it looks like. Perth Glory surrounding Courtney Newbon in goal. Here comes the corner, right to the hot spot again. Pickett's flick header on. It sits up in the box. Chinema sliding, and then Bunge kept her feet and boots it to the safety of the touchline. But again, Perth leading the shot count, leading the corner count. Still very much in the game, even though it's 11 versus 10. Chinema. Dalton. Oh, too much on that pass. Grace Johnston's been good today, but that would have taken something extraordinary to reel in that ball. Pickett down the line. Chidiac trying to start in defensive midfield. Dapolonia, Tatham a handful, but Dapolonia holds her off. Now Sophia Sakalis, fresh legs off the bench, the sub here. Sakalis just forced back 5 metres and then gives possession away. Gabby Holler. Holler keeping possession. Pickett able to intercept the ball. M. Gielnik now. Only Rachel Lowe ahead of play, so Gielnik's going to hold things up. Janchevsky. And booted away from the centre of defence by Zog. Janchevsky to the shouts of keep the ball from the Victory sideline, but they're not going to do that here. It's been yielded once more. And a bit of a tangle here between Sakalis and Valletta. Valletta has the support of Zog to go back to. Zog round the corner. Now Tatham. And Valletta wins the throw in. So Valletta throws it down the sideline. Win. And ends up giving away the free kick here, tumbling into Sophia Sakalis. Sakalis, who played 49 games for the Glory over 3 seasons, scored 3 goals. Still yet to open her account for the Melbourne Victory. Here's Valletta winning the ball back immediately. Can the Glory go? Lala consolidating possession. Just had to hold things up. It's allowed a few more Victory defenders to get back. And those numbers prove effective. Kayla Morrison clearing. Only as far as win. Valletta again. Tatham. Valletta. Long ball from the fullback. Headed away by Bunge. And now booted away by Bunge. Solid header from Valletta. Tatham brings the ball under her control. Izzy Dalton. Turns back to Chinema. Chinema, the incisive pass. Oh, Holler couldn't take possession. And Pickett is going to be able to usher that over the line. It'll be ticked down to the final 10 minutes here of regulation, with Perth very much hanging around in this game. They continue to ask questions of this Victory defence and midfield. And Melbourne Victory have not shown a great deal of ruthlessness going for a second goal to try and put themselves out of sight. You wonder if that might be part of the instructions that Jeff Hopkins is currently giving to Alex Chidiac.
Wide of a four. Wide of a four.
Murphy. Chidiac. Sakalis immediately under pressure from Valletta. Back to Murphy. And Murphy round the corner. Well, couldn't pick out Gilnick with the pass, but we'll get a second opportunity here. Decides to switch flanks over to Janchevsky. Jeff Hopkins clearly not happy with where his players are taking up position. He's perhaps urging Sophia Sakalis to get a bit further forward rather than drifting into midfield. Long ball here, Zog. And Valletta is going to go with the back pass all the way to Dumont. And Dumont's got to be careful. Rachel Lowe pressing right up. However, Zog is away. Holds off Lowe. Still Zog. Up to the halfway line now. We've seen Anya Nyechi Zog not afraid to get forward. She's made a few bursting runs into the attacking half during this game at the right time. And a switch of flanks for the Glory. Well, Johnston legged by Pickett. And just a free kick, no thoughts of a card. So Pickett leaves the scene. And you can see the resulting free kick here for Izzy Dalton. Well, Rachel Mitchinson's heard something she didn't like over on the bench there. Hasn't been completely specific as to who got a card, but we can take it as read that one of the Perth Glory staff has received a booking. There's Stephen Peters, the long ball from Dalton. Doesn't quite have the juice on it to get over Chidiac though. Valletta. Tatham. Ball allowed to bounce in the box. It's reared up over the head of Newbon, who has gone and retrieved it right against the byline. And Tanika Lala was lurking, but, well, all's well that ends well for Courtney Newbon, but you just saw there, that ball went rearing up over her head. Fortunately, it was off target. That would have been quite a nervous moment had she been chasing it back towards the goal line. Here goes Dapolonia, holding off Wynn, keeping the ball moving. Sakalis in an acre of space. All about the next pass here. Sophia Sakalis plays it onto Rachel Lowe. Steered away from goal by Chinema, but it is going to be a corner kick for the Victory. And so as far as Victory concerned, they're down the right end. Time increasingly starting to become their friend as the match wears on. Alana Murphy will go over to be the corner taker here. And a quick shield of the eyes just to look at what's going on in the penalty area for Alana Murphy. Victory certainly don't have too many numbers committed forward. So here's the corner. Murphy hangs it high. And Holler wins the header away. Finds Johnston. Well, Pickett's done really well. Blocks Johnston. Grace Johnston here protecting the ball. Finally had an outlet in Dalton, but well, Lowe couldn't bring it under control. And now the long diagonal is going to be advantage goalkeeper. And so Victory probably coming up to decision time on how aggressively they push for a second compared to how they manage a 1-0 scoreline to the finish line here. Newbon goes for distance. It's going to go straight onto the head of Tatham, though. Ball is there to be won. Out steps Morrison, clearing it away. Volleyed back into the Perth attacking half, though. Win against Janchevsky. Both players go sprawling. And the referee sees a break-even contest. And so it's live at the feet of Chidiac, who scoops it casually into the path of Janchevsky, and Victory are away. Alana Janchevsky looking for Sarah Dapolonia, still full of running. Dapolonia outside of the foot pass, intercepted by Zog. Johnston this time yields possession to Murphy. And Alana Murphy with a dart out to Emily Gilnick. Gilnick keeps it moving and catches the ankles of Zog, sits up in the box. And can Perth work this out between Tatham and Zog? Numbers are closing in, though. Gilnick, well, fortunately perhaps for Perth, it's deflected out for a goal kick. A wry smile from Gilnick, knowing that she nearly caught Nat Tatham in possession there. Battle of two Queenslanders. So 5 minutes of regulation to go. Just a reminder, we have had a drinks break in the half, so there'll be a bit of a chunk of stoppage time, plus the subs, plus the red card. So a few little delays scattered throughout the second 45 minutes. Gilnick, straight back to whence it came in Casey Dumont, who's now waving her teammates up the field. Yeah, step up, because she's going for distance. Dumont roosts it high and long, right down into the attacking third. And Pickett heads it straight out. So Perth ball. Dalton and Johnston combining. Tatham, switch of flanks. Janchevsky, the header, only as far as Wynn. Megan Wynn spins, delivers in, and Newbon, well, batted it down and then was first to grab the spill. Little flutters in the Victory defence, but ultimately the goalkeeper picks up the ball. Gabby Holler was there, and there wasn't anyone from Perth to wait at the feet of Courtney Newbon. Valletta has been really prominent since coming off the bench. That pass, not able to find a teammate though. Gilnick back to Pickett. Pickett the back pass, Bunge. Able to keep it away from Tanika Lala. And now Gilnick. Bunge again. Rachel Lowe to Alex Chidiac, a clever pass. And now Chidiac can burst forward. Chidiac has Sakalis out on the wing. Sophia Sakalis steadies, puts it over the head of Lowe. Gilnick will keep the attack alive though. Gilnick, and over the head of Sakalis. So a couple of crosses and the groans of the crowd tell the story. Victory looking for what would be a decisive second goal at this point. And a couple of little half chances go begging. Perth battle on. Win. Back to Valletta. Claudia Valletta's pass. And half volleyed away by Morrison. Onto the head of Dalton, off the shoulder of Gilnick. Murphy. Oh, Gilnick coughing up the ball, but then volleying it back to Murphy. Finds Alex Chidiac. Out to Sakalis. Sophia Sakalis. Looks up at the Perth defence. Decides to defer to Dapolonia. Here's Janchevsky. Crossfield ball, a good one. Gilnick looking for a runner. Maybe will go direct herself. And Gilnick was always rising, and it just kept climbing as it went over the crossbar. Perth wasting no time from the restart. Straight into the attacking half they go, albeit briefly. Lala held up here. Valletta. Zog. Hugging the sideline. Claudia Valletta sees Dalton in the middle. Dalton playing it back to Chinema. And that diagonal ball a little overhit from Naomi Chinema, but if nothing else, Perth might be able to press some numbers up here. We're ticking down to the last minute of regulation time. How many minutes of stoppage will Perth get to chase this game? Really is starting to feel like Victory are just going to manage 1-0 to the finish line here. Certainly hasn't been their finest performance, but Jeff Hopkins will be desperately hoping that one goal will be enough. Looks as though Rosie Curtis in the background is getting one last briefing to come on for these last few minutes. Pick it down the line. Low. And it'll be a Perth throw. Pass intercepted here. Janchevsky. It's got Lala chasing back. Janchevsky cleared by Zog. Dapolonia. Back into the defensive half. 90 minutes expires. 5 more minutes for the Victory if they want to hold on to second place on the ladder. 5 more minutes for Perth to try and chase what would be, not in terms of the ladder, a massive equaliser, but certainly in terms of lifting the spirits of this team and belief within the squad if they can get something out of today. Zog, still full of running at the end of the 90. Dalton, Tatham. Oh, Zog has stayed down. Hopefully only cramp. Perth continue to play, and Zog back to her feet. Tangle of legs here, show of strength, and won by Pickett in the end. But the pass, well, sits up for Chidiac now. Trying to make game 100 a winner. Chidiac running down the right flank. And hurdling past Chinema. Low, keeps it moving to Sakalis. Oh, wanted the return pass, and Sakalis, fairly blatant foul, which is going to draw a yellow card here. And perhaps the cost of doing business late in the game for Sophia Sakalis to receive a yellow here. Valletta trying to escape, and Sakalis wrapped the arm around her. And that was always going to be a yellow card. So a late sub here, Rachel Lowe, who got into a lot of good goal-scoring positions today, but just couldn't get the final touch on the ball, be it leaping for a header or lunging for a cross. But she does seem to be back in form now, Rachel Lowe. And young Rosie Curtis, 20 years old, is coming on for just her 3rd appearance of the season. Suspect this means Jess Young won't be getting her A-League Women's debut today if she stays as an unused sub. But Curtis comes on for the 12th appearance of her young career. And Rachel Lowe gets a big congratulations from Jeff Hopkins as she goes to the bench. Well, there you go. If that doesn't sum up how well Perth have battled in this game, it's the team with an 11 versus 10 advantage that's making a defensive sub in stoppage time. As Curtis comes on for Lowe. Morrison's header away from the centre of defence. Zog. Has got Gilnick here for company and has to concede a throw. And in the blink of an eye, almost half of stoppage time has expired here. We've seen Victory manage the clock well in some games. It's not just about the games where they've coughed up late equalisers or goals. Think of the win away to Sydney FC 1-0, where they guided that game to the finish line, not giving up a single chance. They'll be hoping for something similar in the remaining moments here. Win, throw in down the line. And Morrison is going to see that over the byline and out for a goal kick. And Victory will take their time restarting play here. There's the match winner as things stand. Kayla Morrison's goal back in the 33rd minute. But all the thoughts are on defending right now. Jeff Hopkins absolutely losing it. He wants everyone in the right position as far as he's concerned. 90 seconds of stoppage to go. Curtis in a battle here. Chidiac has the ball at her feet, trying to run away from Dalton. Chidiac running wide. And now plays it to Sakalis. Sakalis, a little dink, up to the top of the area. Gielnik. Still M. Gielnik. And decides to go back out to Chidiac. Megan Wynn getting goal side. Last minute of the 5 additional. Chidiac again. Perth Glory just chasing the ball at the moment. They can't get it back. Melbourne Victory, this will suit them just fine. Deep in attack, holding possession. And now Zog comes through with a clearance. Can Perth flip the field in the blink of an eye? Oh, solid challenge from Murphy. Knocked over Holler, and the whistle does go. It's a free kick for Perth. No time to be wasted, though. Holler's clearly winded, but I think she knows that there's no choice but to get back up here. It was a heavy landing. And definitely adjudged to have been a foul by Murphy. So Perth have committed numbers forward here. Only Nat Tatham back to take this free kick. They're on a bit of a wing and a prayer here at the end of 95 minutes, though. Can they score at the very last? It would have ramifications all up and down the top 6. Ball cleared from the edge of the box. 5 minutes of stoppage time has expired. Tatham, another go. To the edge of the box it falls, deflecting off Holler. Lala lurking, and Laura Pickett clears it to the safety of the line. Johnston, the game continues. Well, an errant touch, but it caught a deflection. Perth Glory running out of chances. Throw into the edge of the area again. Tanika Lala, flick header on. Holler's there, cuts it back. Lala denied by Murphy. And where Murphy was the hero in Perth, she has the final say in Melbourne. Victory do the season double over the Glory for the first time since 2020-21. And even though it was Perth Glory reduced to 10 players by a red card, Melbourne Victory had to pull out a few stops just to manage that scoreline to the finish line here today. Kayla Morrison with the match-winning goal in the first half. And even though Glory never gave up on this one, they will leave a little bit heartbroken that they are empty-handed at the end of it. Full time at the home of the Matildas. Melbourne Victory 1, Perth Glory 0. So let's go to the highlights of this game. And this was the opening goal. A free kick flicked high by Claudia Bunge, headed by Nat Tatham straight to an unmarked Kayla Morrison. And an unmarked Kayla Morrison in the penalty area is a dangerous thing. Centre back scoring her second of the season with a great volley there. And ultimately, that would prove to be the match-winning goal. It was uncharacteristic of Perth's defence, given how well they had done in the first half, but that lapse in concentration, Victory made the absolute most of it. This was a great chance for Victory to score a second. Murphy's ball to Lowe, and then Gielnik denied by the slide challenge of Chinema. And then the follow-up where Lowe was foiled by Dumont. Early in the second half, Tian McKenna firing over the bar. M. Gielnik whipping this cross into the box, which just missed Rachel Lowe. And then Nikki Flannery with the follow-up, which was saved by Dumont. Alex Chidiac was then fouled twice in quick succession by Tian McKenna, drawing a yellow card on both occasions. And unfortunately for young Tian McKenna, that meant a red card. Gabby Holler had this chance, which was brilliantly saved by Courtney Newbon. I mean, in the highlight reel of that game, that is not to be forgotten. But here's the second yellow. Pretty easy decision for the referee, Rachel Mitchinson, and not much protesting from Perth Glory as McKenna received her marching orders on the hour mark, leaving Glory down to 10 for the final half hour.